This episode is brought to you by Fifine Microphone. Fifine Microphone is a wallet-friendly but stunning audio quality microphone for any audio production. The Fifine T669 Studio Kit includes everything you need to start recording your podcast, voiceover, and gaming streams. The kit bundles the K669B USB condenser microphone and a versatile broadcast arm. Another impressive model is the K670 with built-in monitoring and a 16mm diaphragm delivering fuller, round, and warmer sound. Visit the link in the description for more information. What's up everybody, welcome back. Thank you so much for taking the time to hang out. In this video, we're taking a closer look at the Hohem iSteady multi-gimbal. Let's go!
Ryan Little.
Yoga.
The Hohem iSteady multi-gimbal will set you back $169. It has an impressive 400 grams of payload support, a 3600 mAh battery giving us 8 hours of battery life, and it supports 600 degrees of panning. I was like, what? But what it means is that this gimbal can actually pan a little bit further than 360 degree each way. It's kind of like a full turn and a little bit more, adding up to 600 degrees of panning, which is really cool. I actually tested this. That was the first thing that I tested on this gimbal, and it's really cool because it does give you a little bit of extra wiggle room for panning shots. Maybe you're tracking and you go past a full turn. So I think this is a unique feature. I haven't seen this in any other gimbal other than their gimbals, which is kind of nice. But before we highlight some of the features that I found very interesting about this gimbal, you know me, we took it out for a spin and we tested its stabilization. We compared the Hohem iSteady multi-gimbal versus just handheld footage in Los Angeles, and here are the results. Now this comparison was filmed with the iPhone 11 Pro Max, both with the Hohem iSteady Multi and handheld. And I am definitely impressed with the stabilization capabilities of the Hohem gimbal. We used the native camera app for this test because that's what most people will do, and we applied no ninja walk-in stabilization technique, which is walked regularly back and forth just to replicate a real life scenario. Now I'm not gonna lie, the stabilization on the ultra wide lens by itself, just handheld on the iPhone 11 Pro Max, is fantastic. I'm very, very impressed. But when pairing it with the Hohem iSteady gimbal, I found that I have a little bit more consistent flow. Instead of being floaty, it kind of brings it together. It keeps it centered. And on top of that, if you apply better technique, like the ninja walking technique, one foot in front of the other, bending your knees, you're definitely going to get some buttery smooth footage. Now, the Hohem iSteady multi-gimbal not only supports smartphones, but it also supports action cameras and native support to some point-and-shoot Sony cameras like the RX100. You can also pop in any G-series cameras by Canon or anything in that range within the 400-gram payload. And this is amazing. It's incredibly versatile. If you are like me, a smartphone filmmaker primarily, you can just go ahead and use this gimbal. It comes with everything you need to start filming with your phone. It has a fantastic mechanism with a quick release plate that allows you to remove and switch your cameras on the fly, so to speak. But if you have a compact camera, this opens up the door for you to get a different angle or just flat out a different experience with your camera. If you happen to have an RX100, by using the included USB cable, you'll be able to control your camera right from the gimbal buttons. The Hohem iSteady Multi has support for different camera movements, including pan follow, pan and tilt follow, all lock, all follow, and of course inception mode. Now for inception mode, I actually found this to work a bit better with action cameras or point and shoot cameras that do not obstruct the movement of the gimbal, because the phone is a little bit taller than the opening in between the grip and the actual gimbal arm. It might not go all the way. Having said that, with the all follow feature, you'll be able to recreate something similar, but if you're using a GoPro or a Sony camera, you'll definitely be able to take advantage of inception mode, which is really cool. You can cycle between all these different modes via the mode button, and each mode has the number of clicks next to the abbreviation in your gimbal, which is kind of cool because sometimes I personally forget how many clicks or how many presses I have to perform in order to switch modes. So it's kind of nice that you have kind of like a legend right on the gimbal, just in case you forget. The Hohem iSteady Multi also has a trigger that allows you to recenter your gimbal or enable sports mode. Another very useful feature is that the iSteady Multi has power bank capabilities. On the side of the gimbal, you have a USB port right next to a second 1/4-inch screw mount if you want to use any accessories or any other mounts. I find this very useful because you could add microphones or just a monitor or just pretty much anything you would need on the side of your gimbal. But not only you can charge your smartphone with that USB port, you can also charge pretty much anything you want. And of course, the Hohem iSteady Multi has its own application in the App Store and Google Play Store. The Hohem Gimbal app has some amazing features like face tracking, time-lapse, motion time-lapse. The app also has menu controls that allow you to interact with your shutter speed, ISO, white balance, and exposure compensation. Another great tool is that the app interfaces with the zoom slider. The slider can also be used as a focus adjustment tool, which is really cool because you can customize your shots and get some really nice cinematic shots when you're panning or tilting. I personally think they have put in a lot of work in this application, judging from previous versions. I had the opportunity to test their iSteady mobile gimbal a while back, and this is definitely a night and day situation, especially with the menu controls and just the overall stability on the app. I was definitely very surprised that it packs all these features, and I didn't really have any issues on the 11 Pro Max. Now, the Hohem Gimbal app allows you to turn on or off electronic image stabilization. If you go to your settings, it's actually anti-shake. You can turn this on or off, and this opens up the door for you to be able to get more information on your frame or add a secondary level of image stabilization, which honestly I recommend it, because if you don't have this, the camera seems a little floaty when you're filming. So make sure you enable anti-shake for extra buttery smooth B-roll. But if for some reason you're stationary, you're doing face tracking, or you're just simply doing a time lapse and you want to have more information on your frame, you can switch this off so you can have a little bit wider shot. Overall, I am surprised that this gimbal is $169. I think it packs some amazing features like the quick release plate, 400 grams of payload capacity, the ability to use compact cameras and native Sony camera supports like the RX100. I have definitely seen gimbals that are way more expensive that have the features, so I'm very impressed with the fact that you have a lot of value for $169. But I want to know what you think. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you have any questions or suggestions, drop them down there so we can continue to create relevant content for you. Once again, thank you so much for sharing your time with me. We'll catch you on the next one.